We've got our 1 mil, yeah? And the same behind. We're up to factory colour there, look, on the inside. So, that's all good enough. Clean it up and we'll put a piece on the outside, yeah? That's how we're eating the elephant. We've got our 1 mil, yeah? And the same behind. Okay, so we're going to clean there, yeah? Just show you. Yeah? We're up to factory colour there, look. On the inside. So, that's all good enough. Clean it up and we'll put a piece on the outside, yeah? That's how we're eating the elephant. there you can see, guys, we have the 1 millimeter thickness, yeah? And that's what we strive for. And it was basically just down the bottom side there, had rust, right? So that's the thin end of the wedge there, right? The thin end of the wedge. And what we had was, we had this kind of scenario going on, if you remember, right? Yeah? So we have the 1 millimeter thickness, right? Yeah. So we have that all the way along, and we have it here at the back, okay? So we're all good. We only need to concentrate our repair right here, yeah? This is the area. And as you can see, right, it's kind of congested, right? If we were to do the repair, you see the 2 screw holes for the locking mechanism, and then we'd have to take the lock out. That's an option, right, to do this repair. Because unfortunately, right, let me get a pointer. So if you can see up here, yeah, it's actually going back inside where we can't put a weld on it. This is the inner frame we're talking about here, or the frame basically. The frame, yeah? That's what we're talking about, the frame. And if you look up here, right, we have no metal from the frame. So it's gone completely. This area here is very badly rusted, right? So, and we can go all the ways over to someplace here, right? So we're going to put our replacement piece from there to about there, yeah? That area is where we need to concentrate on. Like I said, it's kind of congested because we have the locking mechanism, and if we were to do the repair that we done before, right, which would be similar to this, guys, look. So here's our inner frame here, gives you a good idea of what I'm talking about. We could have made this piece, right, and left it run in and weld it along here where we can access it better, right? That's what we would have done. We would have welded it along here someplace. So we would have just cut out, cut along, and cut up, yeah? And put in our piece and welded it. That's what we've done on the far side of this door. It's in the earlier videos, guys. But, like I said, assessment. Unfortunately, with all this congestion, you have to, you know, see which way is the best way to go about this repair. And what I'm going to do, guys, is I've decided I'm going to have to cut up here anyway. And like I said, cut up here, right? We're okay here. This is all good. And that shape there is natural. That's the shape that it would have had anyway. Okay, so that's normal there. So this repair, guys, what you're going to see me do is I'm going to have to open it up here and go across the top over to here again to where we have the meat. Yeah, that's 1 millimeter thick there, right? So that's the way to do this one. Like I said, it's always about assessment, yeah? And what's the easiest way to do it? Now you'll see there's 3 little semicircles here, right? And what I done there was I basically just put the tip of the finger grinder until I met with the 1 millimeter thick, yeah? And it's fine, that's fine. I mean, as opposed to cutting this out, right? And welding in a piece. All of this cut out, that the piece that you would cut out, 90% of it, 95% of it was okay. It was just that here, here, and here. It was only the tip of this lip that was just feather edged a little. So I just took that out. That's okay. So I'm going to do my cut from here to here. Go back here, like I said, and take that out. And we have to put this back afterwards, yeah? So that's how we eat the elephant as regards, you know, when you get into areas like this. It's about, like I said, it's about assessing the job and working out, you know, what could be difficult, or try and make it easy for yourself, yeah? And it just shows that it's possible to do this. Now in my head, I'm thinking, guys, maybe I won't need a door skin at all. Yeah, the door skin could go back and, you know, maybe get a voucher or, you know, cash back or whatever. That's my next, you know, do we really need to use the door skin? Can we actually do, you know, can we make it? Well, I know I can make this corner piece and make a piece for the bottom. This has some damage as well on the hinge here, but we'll get into this, right? We have all this side of the door, guys. If you haven't been with us, welcome to the new subscribers. But see, that's what we've done along here. We made all this new, right? And now all we need is a little piece all along, yeah, and finish it off. So that's to be done. And to get around this hinge here, yeah. It had been repaired before, as you can see, yeah. So, and there's, like I said, there's a dip here. So we're gonna have to sort that out. But a new piece along the bottom, you know, this is solid. So I might just do that, I don't know yet, but yeah. So I'll hang you up, guys, and we'll take it from there. We'll get on with this repair, yeah? I've got my sheet metal set up here ready for cutting, right? And you'll see what I do and how I do it. I might as well, while I'm saying this, right, we have the shrinker stretcher over there, right? Hooked up to the vise at the minute until we make a stand. This will be another project. But like, there's two ways you can then do this piece, right? You could let up your steel up past it, right? And just scribe at the back of the ruler there. Just scribe it, yeah? Scribe your, and that gives you the shape. That'll be one way of doing it. And just cut, you know, cut the line, cut to the line, yeah? And that'll give you your shape. Have it maybe 1/2 inch, you know, 12 mil piece, and leave it up a little bit, scribe it, and cut it to that. And that gets you sitting in here, right? And then you would just put every 2 inches, we said, every 2 inches are like a 6 mil hole, and that'll be for your plug welds, yeah? And also just go along the top with a tack, cool it, attack, cool it, keep it cool. And eventually you just build it up, and then you dress it. And that's what you're going to see me do, yeah? That's how we're going to do this. But like I said, this is a little tricky because of, you know, the locking mechanism, etc. But we'll work around it, yeah? We'll take that little piece out, right? That's how we're going to eat the elephant. One piece at a time. It'll get it done. Okay. Stop recording. This is my cameraman, buddy. Right. Are you cold? Oh, you're shaking. See? Oh, buddy. Are you cold? Okay, I've gone to the shrinker and I've just hit it in 3 places, yeah? Where we need to put this little arc into it. Slight radius, yeah? Or a crown, if you like. So that gives us the shape, yeah? Okay, I've cut it to length. We'll keep it in line with that body line, yeah? And that's the last spot weld there. So if we give it one around there, and the last one here. Okay, so 4 6mm holes for the plug welds. We'll get that done. 4 holes drilled. So now I'm going to scratch out where these plug welds are going to go, yeah? Right, because we have got crust, if you remember, in the background, which seals it. And we're going to scrape out where this is going to be plug welded to. Clean that area, because you can't weld paint or any other kind of contact. Yeah. Okay. So now you see what we've got. We've got clean metal going on there, yeah? So we're going to just make it right now, yeah? Fettle it until it's fitting perfect where we plant our first spot, yeah? And then that's kind of like, that's that repair, you know? That's how we're going to continue on with it. That's a piece of the door skin, yeah? And this is what we've got going under the door skin. Now it comes round and down the front. That's the inner frame, yeah? And the door skin comes over it and down the side. So the reason why we're taking this out, guys, I think you can see it, is that we didn't have anything up here inside, yeah? Okay. That gets us to, yeah, there. That's solid up there. You take it like this. Put that out there. Yeah. That's all solid. Okay, I'm going to clean this up more. Yeah. That's the frame. Yeah. Clean it up and treat it. Okay. See if it looks okay. And then put a face on it. Yeah. That's what we're doing. Stop recording. Okay, it's a little bit weak there, yeah. It's all strong here, but I'm going to take it out and put new in anyway. It's as easy, right? I've decided, you saw I cut that there, took this piece out on top, and now put this piece. It's just a piece I'd lying around, but I'm thinking if I send it to that corner there, so once it fits in here, yeah, you see this cut out here, once I get it in there, I'll be able to weld it along here, right? We don't want that too close, so I might take a little piece off of that actually. Yeah, just a little piece, a quarter of an inch. Okay. Now, yeah, so that'll weld all along here. And it's a new piece that we're putting in. So it's got to be better. Scribe this. That's where it's going to go in. Sit in there for us. Kind of hard to keep it in position. You get the idea though. Just scribe along the top of it. Okay, I can just about see that line, yeah? So I'll cut on the underside of that, stay on the inside here, and if it needs a little touch to take out after to make it fit right, then we'll do that. We can we can move it up, if you know what I mean, but we don't want to be going up too far because we're making ourselves, you know. Now this is a corner in here, remember? So there's strength in that corner, you know, so this will pretty much be straight anyway. You know, distortion and that, we don't have to worry too much about that because of the corner, yeah? Okay, I'll take this out. I'll save you that noise, yeah? But this black, you might be questioning, that black is like an anti-corrosive. Corrust, I use it all the time, you'll see it in all the videos, right? But Corrust, K-Rust, I don't have the bottle under my hand, but I'm sure it's in the video, you'll see it, right? So that's why it's all black, yeah? So it's a rust neutralizer, and it's a seal as well, so it doesn't let, you know, dampness get in there in the future. So what we're going to be doing now is, what you're going to see me doing is, you're going to be seeing me putting on these pieces, okay? And like I said, I'll be welding the corner, okay? So as you can see, it just comes around here, the door skin, which is the outside skin, yeah? And it'll be coming around, and this just sits in to where I had cut it. So all along. So I'll be welding there. And the reason why you can do that is because on the corner is the stiffest part, okay? So right on the corner is the stiffest part, and that way we'll get less distortion, and it is possible to do this. And we'll be putting plug welds in there every 2 inches roughly, yeah? So you'll see me going on with that now. I might speed that up because, you know, there's a lot of like spot welds, just, and cool it. I'll be putting a spot weld, cool them in the middle, cool them, and keep building it up and up until we're done. Isn't that right, Bust? Yeah. You know he's the boss, don't you? As regards penetration, there's loads of penetration, even with a butt like that. There's loads of penetration. It's only 1 millimeter thick. So you will have penetration, you don't have to worry. Some folks would say that when you grind it down flush, you'll have nothing left. Well, that doesn't just add up. Look at the very start of my video and you'll see the amount of penetration that's in the back of the joint. You'll see there that there's like as much weld, well, there's about 50% of the weld in at the back as there is out at the front. So that's the kind of bone through we're talking about with 1 millimeter at about 65 amps, yeah? So there's, you know, you don't have to be worried about penetration. And like I say, look, there's a little pocket. There's a little pocket all the way along for it. That's the door skin now where it comes round, yeah? So, we get on with welding it, yeah? This is where the new hammer comes into play, guys. To knock stuff off, yeah? That's it there. It won't fall this time. It's that last tack that got it, so you know, 3 attempts at that. But this is how small and light everything is, yeah? Okay. That's what we want, right? That's what we want. So just another one right here, like that. Now guys, can you see the tack? Yeah, that tack is absolutely tiny, okay, but that's what you'd want to be looking at, okay? And now we've got to put one here, right, to stop it of going down like I was saying earlier. We have one here, we have one here. Now we put one here on the end, and there's a little gap there, but we can close that, yeah? Okay. Listen to how long I'm pulling the trigger, guys. That's it. Yeah. Now that's cold up here, right? And the metal is still light enough. So what we'll do is put one up there. Just like that. That's something to build on. Now would be the wrong time to break my handle, wouldn't it? Yeah. Okay. Again, clean wire. Next one. Drop that blob there. See that? That's a little bit of meat for the next time. And that's how it's done, guys. You will hardly need a glove on this kind of, you know, but you're still going to get burned, believe it or not. Now, I think what I need to do, guys, believe it or not, is, right, I have set for 0.8 of a mil, okay? There's a lesson here. And that's cold. You can see that, you know, that's not really going zzz, zzz, like it just did that first one. So I'm going to turn it up to 1 millimeter, right? That's going to help me with a little bit more heat and a little faster droplet of weld, yeah? So that's exactly what I'm going to do now. Just 1 millimeter. And put my glove on, because that's a little bit cold. But anyways, this is what we're talking about, right? See what I mean? That's much better. Instant. That's what we're talking about. Just a, you know, split second. The old gauge is not happy. Okay, clean this off, look, right? Clean this little weld off now, and we'll go at it again, the next piece, yeah? And when you see something like this now, guys, yeah, it kind of just begs the question, like, why would I leave? If you can see that there's a little, you know, it's strong, right? There's 3 little bits here that I kind of just rounded them out a little bit, yeah, because just here they were, you know, they were weak. And is it worth cutting it out and putting a piece in, you know? I mean, this is strong, really strong, but yeah, you can see there, you know, it's these little bits. There's 3 little bits there. So yeah, should I stay or should I go, kind of thing. I'm going to cut them out and weld it in and do it, you know, just now that, you know, now that we've kind of got this situation going on, it's like, ooh, you know, it's 1 millimeter thick, like I said, so I'm going to cut it down here and just go across halfways up, right? So along here and down here, and just put in a little piece, and you'll see again, you know, that yeah, it's worth having the, you know, you see that finish, right? You just see that finish and you think, yeah, you know, I may as well do it. I'll bring you back at some stage of that, or look, yeah, I'll just show you this cutout, right? Because I think these are one of the best, this is one of the best tools I ever got, right? There's my couple of buttons here. One. You can see. I've got to get my little die grinder and go down a little bit on this guy. Again, you could do it with your grinder or whatever, but you can see the 2 screw holes, right? And can I show you? Yeah, on the other door, if I pull this cable out. Okay, I'm going to whiz you around here, guys, slowly. I think you can see. I'm going to cross a pipe here, guys. Bear with me. There you go. Look, you see? There's a little, this is the other door that needs doing, okay? So that's what we've got to do, create that for the 2 screws, access for the 2 screws, yeah? Okay. So again, clean this up and continue on, yeah? And then we'll be able to put the outside piece on and close it up, right? Dampness or ingress gets in, it's sealed so it doesn't get into the metal, yeah? And the smallest little tiny, I mean that's way too much, but you'll see, look, and you'll see it getting dark in a while, right? And that's what makes the side black, like up here, that's this stuff. Now I will put, well, see, I mean the coverage is like, get it all in there, yeah? The run down inside the door. I could leave it and you watch it go dark, which it will. I mean, that's just that. That's just like, that's that done, and I've still got loads, right? So you see, it's, you know, the tiniest little drop of this stuff, you know. I might as well go ahead and just clean metal, it doesn't matter, right? Just put it on there. So I'll bring you back in a while, guys. $40, guys, or 40 euros, right? So things have just gone crazy. It's like 40 euros for a can of this, yeah? Copper, weld through, copper rich primer, okay? So I'll give that a little blast, and then I'll go out and make a cup of coffee, I think, because, you know, smells and chemicals and stuff is not nice. That's some of that crust, yeah? K-U-R-U-S-T, that's why it's black now, as opposed to before. Before, if you remember, it was just bare metal. So these little pieces, remember? Right, so they're all dry and they're all black, and that was clean steel. So, you know, again, I've got to like clean out the hole, right, with the little die grinder, so that the side wall of the metal will be clean. Okay, that's important, because as soon as I arc there, there's going to be no contact. You're surrounded by chemical and paint or whatever, you know. It'll be the same here. I'll clean through these holes again here, yeah. Sorry, I moved you there now. Yeah. I'll be cleaning through the holes again and marking and cleaning wherever these are going on, yeah. So this will go on here like this now. Next, right? I've got it clean. And then we've got this piece here, which I think goes this way. And yeah, like that, okay? And then hopefully you can see what I'm doing. I think you can, yeah. So, and again, these are, the length on these is not right, right? It'll have to trim, yeah. But that's what we're looking at. And there's our door finished, guys, yeah. That's this side of the door finished anyway, yeah. That's it. Outside, which is the skin. So that's what we're working on next, is the skin, the door skin, yeah. And give you one last look at what I'm talking about when it comes to the skin. Get you underneath this door, look, yeah. And the skin goes round and just cut there above. Hope you can make that out. And this is the original door here, the skin, and this was okay. So we didn't cut that, yeah? We didn't do anything. As you can see, the top of the door, it's all good, yeah? So it's from there down. Maybe you can see the divide now better, yeah? You see the gap that's in there, look, yeah? Well, this is all factory, so we follow factory. I've got a little piece to put out, cut and put in here afterwards, yeah. And remind me, guys, to make sure I cut these with the die grinder, you know, take them down for the screws, for the screwdriver after, yeah. And I've just rounded this a little bit more now, you know, to give it the right shape. So we're getting there. And that's the reason, guys, I clean the edges that are going to be welded and the areas that are going to be welded behind. Yeah, so for example, that's right in there. There's no need to push it in. You see, it burns clean. I can put 2 or 3 more in a while. Yeah, it's not fully filled the hole, which is a 6 or an 8mm hole, 1/4 of an inch hole, but it's the perfect clean weld, and I can put another 1 or 2 and the same here. Yeah, and you can see how minute that little tack is, and there's been no cooling so far, guys. So clean wire. These are the secrets. Yeah, now we can push this outer skin up a little bit. Don't like putting my thumb there. My glove. Okay, that's what the gloves are for, guys. So now we can squeeze it in a little bit. Just the nicest little tack, like that. Now you see all paint and stuff burning there, and that's all porosity now. It's all honeycomb, because we're after hitting paint there, and that's why you never get a nice, you know, controlled weld. Okay, so you see what I'm doing. I've got a joint here, it's perfect. Everything feels nice, yeah? And I'm going to continue on and just close in this a little bit more, yeah? And you can always tap, you know, with a little tapping hammer. Yeah, you can always go along like that. Right at the top. Now after, guys, I'll be trimming this down, yeah, down to this height. Okay, it's a little bit proud, but you know, we go on after with the flap disc and just take it down nicely to about, you know, 10mm or whatever. You can get a measure on this after and do it to that, like I've, you know, we see over here. Look, yeah, you know, I've got the flap disc on there and I took the meat off, you know, where it was a little high. So you can see the shape now and everything is, you know, it's all looking nice with the original. This is the original here. Yeah. So the next part of the game. Next part of the game is this piece here. I moved you now, so I don't even know what you're seeing right now, guys. Are you seeing what I'm showing you? Okay. So, yeah, there we go. So, there we have it, look. Right down to the corner, coming around, almost coming around. Some of it is a little bit spare, yeah? Not, you know, this would look like it wants to sit inside the skin, because just here the skin is coming around, and there's a gap between the frame and the skin. That's factory, so we're not going to change anything. We're going to stay with factory. So we're going to tack that like just where it needs to be there. Otherwise we start making the, you know, the door will be kind of crooked along here if we were to let it inside the skin and sink it down there behind the skin. So yeah, it's always to take your time. Right, I'll trim that again because it's a little tight. We want, you know, 0.2 of a mil, but that would be kind of what we're looking at there, yeah? And you can see all the edges that's going to get welded, right? I've cleaned them up, and that's what you saw me doing here, just cleaning that edge. So again, I'm going to run my little mini grinder down the edge. Clean it. Because you can't well paint. That gives us your width as well. It's a good idea to do that. Yeah, because, you get your 1mm back. Yeah. There's no real need to take the inside, but the tiniest little bit. You saw what happened, guys, when we hit here, when we hit there, and you see all that. Now that's no good, because it's not metal, it's porosity. Right, just get it out of there. Yeah, when we hit there, we hit some paint in the back, and you see it all came out, and it's porosity, it's all holes, it's like honeycomb, and that's the reason why. Yeah, so you don't get a nice little tack. Yeah, you see, can you see those tacks? It's tiny. Like I said, I've set the weld set for 1mm, yeah, 1.1 actually, yeah. I think it was at 0.8, 1.1, a little hot, a little fast, and that's the reason why I do that. Okay, I'll carry on, guys. You know what I'm doing now. I've got this marked and cleaned, so that's what I'm going to do. Yeah, and I'm going to put, like I say, this piece on, keep tacking along. Same when I put this piece and this piece on. I'll put it all on first, yeah? I'll bring you back. I'll tack it all on. And there's paint. It's dirty. You can see by the level of smoke as well. You know, you get a lot of smoke. Or when you get weld coming back out at like a mushroom type of thing, that tells you there's paint in there. There you go, guys. We weld up, so get it. There's heat in there now, so that kind of burns off paint, yeah? Now we're going to go vertical on this one. Make it hot first. And that, each one is hot. There's paint in there. You can see it blowing a big hole. Yeah. Just grip along here and yeah. Put a little tack into those and
Okay, I'm going to continue on putting tacks on it now. Yeah. The reason why I take down these tacks, I've got a mask on, guys. Don't know if you can see. I'm masked up and I've got my specs. Yeah. Yeah. So the reason I'm taking these tacks down is put it back on here. Now. So it's a help, right? It's a massive help. I did mention this before. When you take down the tack like that, okay, when I'm coming on again and I want to connect up to that previous tack, okay, there's a lot less of the tack there now because I've polished it down a bit. Yeah, I've metal finished it a bit. So you see there's a tack there, but you don't see much of it. There's a tack there. So I've polished it down or linished it. So when I go up joining that tack to that tack, I'll put the next tack here, 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 here. And that's the 4 of them connected. Yeah? Now, I'll demonstrate that, okay? So we cut our wire. Okay, so we're going from here to here. Put one there. There is one there already. 2. There's paint there as well. And there's a tack there, right? I'm on top of it again. So now I've pretty much closed that piece in, which is about 3/8 of an inch, yeah? In that time frame. I'm not cooling it down, as you can see. Now I'm going to go back in here because there's a little hole. There. There was paint there. So now, of course, the tack is much bigger, but, you know, these are the pros and cons of it all. You know, sometimes it makes... This is what I'm saying about paint. Paint makes hard work, guys. So, just put this in here. Paint, yeah. Okay, solid as a rock, really. But so that's why I take down. Okay, so after now, just to show. Okay, so I'll take it down to that stage, guys, okay? And you can see I'm touching this and it's not overly hot, so, but I will finish this, not, you know, I'll be a lot more cautious when finishing it, doing the final finish, yeah? But, again, I can go from, there's a tack here, there's a tack here, so if I put that tack back again, it puts the heat in. There you go, look, right? And I put this tack in again. I've ground it out already, but it's flat. So now I can, you know, I know I'm going clean. Now I'll just connect them. That's it. Now it's connected. Yeah? Same as this one. And that's like, now we've got 3/4 of an inch done in total. Yeah? And again, on like that, guys, right? So now we have here done, and we've here done, yeah? I'm going to fill in between them, right? And it gets a little easier because there's less paint, right? The paint is kind of, we know the paint is burned out of this area. There's 4 more tacks there. And again, that's hot. I'll give it a little bit of air now, yeah? Just to cool it down. That's better. Yeah. So, and then we'll get this curvature, the finished one, which is this piece here, we'll get that after, yeah? For now, we just get it welded in, get it all sewn in. And when we do, and we keep going like that, right? I'll come over here now and do a bit here. Then I'll come over here and do a bit here, and just stay away from that, because that's cold now, it's warmish, yeah? So leave it cool, and I could come over, you know, I can come over here, guys, yeah? And do a bit here. And I'll continue on like that. And that's how we'll get it closed up and finished. Remind me, I've got 2 little bits to do here with the little, maybe this guy, I'll use this guy for it, yeah? You know, just to take the 2 pieces down. Okay. Okay, guys. I've been at it, and at it, and at it, and I think we're going to call it here. I'll give you a look at this now, and it's the last, I think the last time we'll be working on it today anyway, because it's been long. I've closed it all in, yeah, and it looks really well now. There's a little piece to put just here, look at the bottom. Don't know if you can see that or not, but just under here, that's why you'll see there's like it kicks in a bit here, but yeah, there's a small little piece to put here now and finish that off. But yeah, it's come out really nice and I'm happy with it, yeah. Tired of it now, to be honest. It's a lot of grinding, and you know, that's what I've been at. You saw it, what I was doing, and yeah, I'm happy with it, right? The skin, right? The door skin is perfect now, right? So, and in the next one I'll continue on, okay? I've got to do the bottom of the door, remember? So the bottom needs doing. Yeah? So what I think I'll do is, I think I'll just cut off. Yeah? I'll just cut off along there and make the new piece, because the door skin, right, under here is grand. It's perfect, yeah? So yeah, look, I'll get you a close up on it now, guys. I think you can see, yeah? Yeah. I've got to tomorrow, right, when I go back at it, I'll with the die grinder, I'll just take a little bit out of there, those 2 marks for the screws in behind, you see? Yeah. Yeah, really happy with it, guys. As you can see, I mean, that's a lovely finish, yeah? And just, don't know if you can see or not, look. We'll have it up. We'll be turning the door around anyway, yeah? But you can see, yeah? You can see it's nice rounded corner, exactly like the original, right? I don't know even where we, yeah, maybe from here someplace, yeah? So looking good now, yeah? Might turn that light on, it might be better. So that's what it looks like inside. All the way down along. You have your lock. That's all cleaned out. All the way down along. So it's just to get the bottom of the door squared off now. And I think on the other side, we're going to be doing this again, right? Yeah. So on this side, we have made the new frame, right? So now we need to just, the door skin, right? Yeah. So we need to do the same thing again. See, it's separated. Yeah. So we just cut a strip again, and we'll do it all the same again.
Okay guys, so thanks for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, all the usual stuff. Leave a comment, or if you have a question, drop it down below in the description. And yeah, so ciao guys, see you in the next one, yeah?